Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Yeah, I know. I just was live and now I'm up here again. And I need to point this out though, and don't really have a choice. I better do it. The difference between non-black women or non-Western but still black women being our so-called second choice is based on proximity. As Western black men, we grew up with Western sisters. We came from them and they've actually come from us. So they were our first choice, and that they were the ones amongst whom we lived in the beginning. It was okay that they were the default. They screwed that up. Now, many of us actually prefer those who show the most preference for us. And they are the ones they are the Afro-Latinas, the sisters from the continent, traditional areas, and then tropical Asian women. As I've stated, many of whom actually carry some measure of our blood in them anyway. These other not Western sisters were not second choice because of something wrong with them, but rather it took more time in our lives on average to meet them. Us being sisters' second choice was in spite of everything that I just said. Western sisters' last choice actually was in spite of everything I just said. When these women become our last choices, final choices, that is because we meet them and we stay with them because they earn it. They earn us. They earn our loyalty. They earn our support. You could say that my current wife is my last choice. Not that she was the last one I would have wanted, but she is in fact staying. Up until now, she's staying and I'm staying. So she's chronologically the last choice, not in terms of preference. And I know because I can see a change in my metabolism when she leaves Riyadh and goes back to our former hometown or our former residence where she still lives to work. Or if I go back there to visit and then I leave and I come back to Riyadh, when I hit my door, my metabolism slows down a lot. And I mean, I need more sleep, but I need less food. And so I see this, I'm adjusting, even to the point that my metabolism adjusts. So, yeah, these are vastly different. We're not the same. Chronologically, the women you find us with now are our last choices, only chronologically. We were the Western sisters' last choice all the time. And when you think about it, why else would they try to get us into these fights, not only with other women that treat us better, but by extension into fights with their men? I didn't think about this while I was going live, but they've been trying to get us killed for the longest. So when some of you simps and goons and mamdingos think that you're being B1 and pro-black and you're telling us to get out there and make enemies of other men or treat non-aggressive men as competitors instead of learning partners, students or teachers, you're actually participating in their efforts to get you and us killed. Stop it. You are never going to win the love of the Western black woman. You can't. No one can. She can't love herself. How's she gonna love you? She wants you and me dead, you dumb simp. Don't give it to her. And don't encourage us to do it either. Thank you for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black, heterosexual, non-select, male power, just cause they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. And thank you again for flying with me on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with me till the wings and the wheels fall off. Well, gender justice. Again, some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. So, black mind, black at it again. This time, and I know you're thinking, wait, didn't he just sign off? Yeah, but I recorded the last one and then I got the idea for this one before I uploaded that one. So I figured, why not make them one upload? So that's what you're hearing now. Take Edward Allen Anderson's advice to not be all red pill for black women just to be blue pill for other women. That is good advice. He's right. Avoid that. I still want you to be aware of some of the differences and the nuances. Now, many of you will say, well, look, I'm not going to drop standards when I go abroad because I don't have to, and they meet better standards, and that will generally be true. Others of you, and it is largely influenced by to where you'll go. Others of you would say, well, you know what? I don't have to be as harsh with them because they're not as harsh, and so I can be nicer. And you might translate that to mean that you can be more lenient. Now, I will say that when you're dealing with women that are not westernized, it is true that you can be nicer. That is true. Now, as far as you being more lenient with standards, that depends on the environment, and it depends on which standards they meet or excel to compensate. And that's how you would know to make the judgment. Now, when it's right up in your face, you got to make split-second decisions. You could easily forget this. So I'm saying this before you get to that so that when you are there, you might remember this and say, okay, I can think more deeply about it and make the decision. Now, listen. I want to point this out to y'all as well. The Western misandrist, hell, the Western default is not the same. The Westernized default woman is not the same. When you are where most of you in my audience live in the West, you have to know that the reason that these ladies will give you a chance when they give you a chance is either due to a flaw or what they perceive to be a flaw. Usually it is a flaw. That's why. That is the reason why it is that it seems to be saturated. The market seems to be saturated with single moms with high standards. And big women with high standards, fitness standards too, and broke women with high financial standards. It seems to be the case because it actually is. You see, their availability goes up once they have these things, and they know what they are. She's got a belly. She knows she's got a belly. She doesn't necessarily like the way it looks. She just thinks it's not going to actually lessen her options. There's a difference. So they know where they are in the SMV in terms, they know how they look, but they think that it matters less to you. And that's largely because it has mattered less to us because we've been trained that way. But understand, when you're in the West, it is clear as day. It is clear cut. You wish she'd drop a few pounds. That's why she's giving you a chance. It would have been great if she didn't have the babies. That's why she's giving you a chance. Because she feels like you don't deserve her when she had less of a stomach, or when she didn't have any kids, or when she didn't have debt. That's how she feels, guaranteed by default in the West where you are. Now, if you are in the East, or you're in a traditional area, I should say, and I'm not sure where to put Latin America on this because Latin America is diverse. So I'll leave it to your expertise and knowledge. But if you're in a traditional, conservative, old-fashioned kind of area, well, courtship is different, like where I am, then you can actually understand that maybe that widow, I wouldn't say the divorcee with a child, she probably is the same. But the widow is not necessarily just being nicer to you because she's got someone else's baby to raise and she's already decided that you didn't deserve her when she was younger and childless. That's not the case here. If you are childless yourself and she's got a child, I still don't recommend that you take on her children first. I don't recommend that. But I also don't think that she's going to disrespect you because of it. And that's what I wanted you all to understand. You should not be blue pill for non-black women, or just be blue pill because a woman is not from the West. By the same token, you can be nicer, and how much more lenient that means you can be, because being nice and being lenient are two different things. But how much more lenient that means you can be will depend on the environment and her orientation and her mindset. And you have to be able to darn near read her mind to know. And if you don't know, then go ahead and default to being no more lenient while still being nicer. That's the best way to do it. I don't think I'm going to give advice like this for free again. You're welcome. But for those of you who can, go ahead and hit the Cash App on the way out, whether it's mine or Mr. Hayes', either one. As always, thank you for listening. Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout, Assalamu Alaikum, and Black Heterosexual, Non-Select, Male Power, just because they don't like it, and Black Patriarchy until extinction of Judgment Day. Thanks again for flying with me on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with me till the wings and the wheels fall off this mother cuss word. Justice forever.